Hey you guys, Amber here. Today's day 9 of 100 Days of Intuition, and we're going to talk a little bit about upstream and downstream tonight. I have 2 co-hosts tonight.
Wow. And day 3 in a row.
Day 3 in a row for Jace.
Huh. And Sven.
Sven, this is Chad. Okay, so they kind of look like, many of you guys know, we talk about that,
We're friends.
That Jason is away from home 2 to 3 nights a week, living in a motorhome with his boyfriend.
This guy.
Yeah.
Funny story, we did have to say, we kept saying, yeah, we're partners, and then we finally had to say we are business partners.
Oh, let me correct that.
Okay.
I had to say, Jason, you need to rephrase that because our wives are going to get mad. But,
gosh.
Hey, it worked.
Because they run a business together, right? So they're here all the time. They're like, yeah, we live, an hour and a half away. We live together in a motorhome. So 2 fit, good-looking men living together in a motorhome that are partners. I think it's the most hilarious thing ever. Okay.
It was great.
Okay, so let me just say, you guys, that in 2017, Jason and I are like, okay, so it's our business is like, we wanted to break this market, right? We were like, okay, we don't want anybody else to break this market. We really want to break this market. And what we did is we kept our house, but we bought a house about an hour and a half to 2 hours away to be in the community. And Augie started at school in this community. And we attempted to find a lease, you guys, for our business. And we looked and looked and looked and looked.
Negotiated several leases.
Yeah.
It just upstream, felt upstream, felt upstream.
Like, do you remember the one downtown? The one downtown, you guys, was like 1,000 square feet. It was $3,300 a month. Plus, it's the first time ever we encountered a lease where you had to pay like 6% royalties back to the...
On monthly.
Monthly, back to the
And
lease.
is that the one where they set your hours?
Yeah, they set your hours. That's right. Yes. Okay, then we finally found this one. It's in a hardware store, and we're negotiating. It's like, is it a 5-year term or a 3-year term? It's just the nature of our business, right? We finally come to terms.
Yep. Okay,
we're at Disney with Augie. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And we get the email, and the email's like 5-year terms. It says, great, this amount per month, but they wanted the entire amount up front, which was...
$165,000
for rent.
Space is yours.
So you lowered the hammer on him in the hardware store.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in Disney. We're about to get on the train. We open this up. Even our what's her name? Remember, our realtor. She was like, I have never seen such a thing like this ever.
I mean, it was last minute.
Yeah,
it was the first time we heard about it.
We go to his hardware store and visit with him. We talk about what we're gonna do with the space, right? And at that minute, I was like, okay, that's it. It was like 8 months of negotiating leases.
Right.
I was like, this is so upstream. So from an intuition standpoint, you guys, I was just talking to somebody else about this today. When it feels so like resistant, does that make sense? Or like when you wake up in the morning and you're just like, oh, and you just dread. Or like we just felt like we couldn't catch a break, you guys, in this community with leases. So that was our sign. We're like, okay, that's it. We're selling the house. We're moving. We're going back home. We didn't know what the plan was. We just knew it was so upstream and it didn't feel good. We just knew, and we knew we wanted to break the market, but it wasn't happening. It's great. So we sell the house. We go back home. We go to a training. You guys are we're all at this training together. You guys all are in business together. I don't live in the motorhome. I'd like to clarify. I'm going. It's like 9:30 right now, right? 9 o'clock. I'm going back home with my little man here in a little bit. And you say to Jace what? Without saying the cities.
I said, Jace, I'm thinking about opening up a club, and this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I would say, I said that.
Hey, Nick.
If you do that place in that town, I'll do it with you. And that's how it started. And Chad and I went to this certain city. We went looking for spaces, and we were just basically looking for signs on the windows, lease for rent. And we came to this one location where we're standing in. And I remember I got out of the truck before Chad did. I looked in, and Chad goes, "What do you think it was?" I go, "I think it was our business, like our business that we're looking for to do." And within 3 weeks of selling the house, we had this location picked out,
which is 10 minutes from the house.
And now we're living in a motorhome.
Yes. So we joke, but like we sold this house. It was like February 28th, something like that. You guys go to this training. Chad just happens to say, I'm looking in this area, and it's the area that we were like basically living in. So Jason's like, great, if you do it, I'll go with you. They come over here, and is this the first space you guys looked at? Third space they looked at, super downstream, negotiated a lease super downstream, right? And it was just like ding, 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 ding downstream. And it's just so funny because we were trying to break the market for a year. It was so upstream. This location is 10 minutes from the house that we owned for a year. So we kind of joke like, too bad we didn't sell the house. These guys could actually be living in the house. But no, they live in the motorhome. Okay, but now let's just talk about, from an intuition standpoint, how good does it feel over here?
Oh, I don't know that you can replicate. It's I mean, it's total opposite,
Yeah.
polar opposite. It's downstream.
Yeah.
The community has embraced us. It's been just, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
You know, when something is meant to be, you can feel it, and
Yeah.
this was meant to be.
Yeah, do you guys love being here?
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the process of building it out and becoming, we're part of the community now, and it's exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
But I can envision thinking back, because you think back to look at the lesson. What was the lesson there? If Amber and I would have opened up a business in that town that was going upstream, but we're just going to still do it and fight it. That kind of, in my mind, would have been the energy that we would have had going into that space.
So true.
Upstream. We submitted to that upstream feeling, let it go, walked away, learned our lesson.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks later, we're standing here. It's going on a year
Yeah.
since we signed the lease here, and it's totally exceeded expectations.
Yeah. So overall, I would say, you guys, mine, Jason's lesson on this is, and we bought a house, you guys, and we sold a house. I got it, but we didn't sign a lease, and we didn't force it, and we were seeing the signs, and we looked at so many locations, and we attempted to negotiate leases, and we were just like resistance. So it's like, okay, there's the sign. And isn't it funny that 3 weeks later, Chad and Jason are at a training, they both basically say the same city, and like, okay, well, that's probably a next sign too. It was such a great house. I know.
It was a great house, Nick.
Such a great house. Yeah. So, and I'm so glad that we pulled the trigger. I'm so glad that it happened exactly the way that it happened, because this feels good. It even you guys, to have Jason not be, people are like, well, how is it to not have Jason in the house? And you guys have a 3-year-old. You guys, it's there's an overall purpose, you guys, right? But Jason and I have a great relationship. I've got support over there. It's actually pretty easy. I don't get as much sleep as I'd like to, and I certainly had to give things up. Like, I don't have a lot of a morning routine because my morning routine is Augie, and Jason's the one that normally gets up in the morning with Augie. So there's sacrifices for these guys too, right? So, but all in all, even in all of the sacrifice, it's actually fun and easy and downstream and no regrets.
In creation
No
mode.
regrets.
We're in creation mode.
Yeah. Yes. So this intuition, this is all about intuition, right? If it feels good, go with it. But if you're constantly getting resistance and it doesn't feel good and you feel like you're hitting roadblocks, it doesn't necessarily mean no, right? It didn't mean no for us. It just meant not this time, right? And the first time we were looking, we weren't looking with Chad, right? So maybe that's the lesson, is that we needed to be with Chad. Like, there's all kinds of lessons in there.
That's what it was. I'm going to go with that one.
So,
Oh boy.
it feels good. It's downstream. They're still living in a motorhome. I am going on a 90-minute drive home tonight to my little man.
And the circus continues.
They're going home together. All right. Love you guys.
Business partners.